Some people are born into privilege. Some are born into pain. I was born into a battle. To understand how I got here, how this madness became my life, you need to go back, way back. Before the crowds, before the jail cells, and way back. Back to the trailer park. I grew up on the edge of Nashville, but it wasn't the glitz and rhinestones they show you on TV. It was Antioch, trailer parks, pawn shops, and prayers that never made it past the ceiling. My mom was battling addiction, depression, like a lot of people where I'm from. In fact, it was only music that got her out of her funk. I'll get to that later. My pops was hustling to keep the lights on in a wholesale meat business, and of course, as a bookie on the side. And me, I was learning how to survive with nothing but broken promises and bad examples.
Hey, Mom, I'm going out. You need anything from the store?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That was it. That was what a conversation with my mom was like. She said yeah sometimes, but with the drugs, I know she didn't even know what she was saying yeah to. Her being this way left me a lot of room to find extracurricular activities, shall we say. I was 13 years old when I got arrested for the first time. The first of over 40.
Oh, can it be that you're here with me?
It's easy to stop the story there. A kid in a broken system. One more lost soul spinning through the revolving door. But if you really want to know how that kid became a Grammy-nominated artist, how I found music and how music found me, you got to understand what was going on at home. When I was 10, just 3 years before that first arrest, I knew I wanted to make music. I remember the exact moment. My dad, Buddy, was deep in his drinking back then. Funny enough, he became my best friend later in life, but that's a story for another time. Back then, I was wild, rebellious. We couldn't even have a conversation without it turning into a war. My mom, Donna, she was battling her own demons, depression, addiction. For almost 20 years, I don't think I ever saw her out of a nightgown. She lived in a room, curtains closed, world shut out. But every once in a blue moon, when the clouds would break, she'd float into the kitchen. All her girlfriends would come over, and suddenly that kitchen became a concert hall. She'd play music, but not just play it. She'd tell stories about the songs, build them up like they were legends.
Let me tell y'all about this Dolly song. The song was originally written for Diana Ross. But of course, as we know, Dolly...
By the time she hit play, we'd be sitting there with goosebumps. And when the song ended, we'd clap like we were front row at the Opry. It was in those moments I saw music was more than sound. It was medicine. It lifted her out of the darkest places, lit up the whole damn house. I was 10 years old sitting there in that kitchen, and I knew right then I wanted to make music. I wanted to save people like that. But life had other plans first. My parents divorced when I was 13, and it's no coincidence that's when everything went downhill. I thought I had to take care of my mom. We needed money, and I was going to get it any way I could. The streets of Antioch were waiting. And oh boy, did they swallow me up.
Jason Thieford for the crime of drug possession, drug dealing, shoplifting. It brings me no pleasure to pass sentence of 3 years in Davidson County Department of Corrections. May God help you, son.
There was good in my life, but it was drowned in all the bad. I hate saying I was just a product of my environment. It feels like an excuse, like it strips away free will. But the truth is, at this stage, I was just a kid about to get arrested. And within 2 years, still a kid, I commit the most heinous things I've ever done. Something I still can't make peace with. That little demon still visits me. Furry, ugly, always there. Most mornings, he's the first thing I see, and I've got to talk him down just to breathe. So I'm in prison.
And
I was 13 the first time they cuffed me, just a kid. But already deep enough in the streets that the law knew my name. Wish I could tell you prison scared me straight, that I learned my lesson. But that'd be a lie. Truth is, once you get in the system, it's like a revolving door. You get out, and there's nothing waiting for you but the same corners, the same people, the same bad choices. And pretty soon, you're back inside. In the words of George Young, I quote the movie Blow a lot. I've said it on podcasts now. I went in with bachelor marijuana, came out with a doctorate of cocaine. Honestly, and this isn't said as an excuse, I couldn't have reformed even if I wanted to. Nobody teaches you how to get out. They just teach you how to survive inside. It wasn't until I was 25 in adult prison that I even got my GED. But before that happened, this haunts me. I caught the worst charge at age 15. Still a kid, but that's no excuse. I still can't shake it from my soul.
Where is it? Tell me, where is it? Oh, tell me now! I said go! Tell me now!
I think about that night a lot. What I'd say to that man if I saw him today. How I'd tell him I wasn't just stealing money, I was stealing his peace, his safety. It's not about me, of course, but it's like a demon, that little small, hairy demon that I carry around. That's how I imagine him. He's always there witty. Still to this day, I was ignoring back then, but oh man, I see him today a lot. A mental health demon. It acts like that happened. That probably means I'll never fully get rid of him. And even after that terrible night and getting locked up again, I still didn't change. I was clean of drugs on occasion, but not clean of the evil I carried inside me. Wherever it came from and however it started, I stayed bad, down to the core for a long time. The only thing that ever made me change was still years away, and it was all because of a woman, my #1 woman to this day.
Jason, you've got a letter.
When the big label said no, I put it on YouTube. And you, the people, said yes, that's how I got here. If you're digging this video, just know it ain't made by a big company or with sponsors telling us what to say. It's one guy, a laptop, and months of research, created with AI and a whole lot of heart. All we ask is hit that subscribe button so YouTube knows you liked it and so you don't miss the next one. It's gonna be a good one. It's free. And it keeps us independent. All right, back to my story. In and out, over and over. Prison became my life. I met someone on the outside. I don't know if we were good for each other or just drinking from the same poison which kept us on the same path. Her name was Felicia. Prison became my second address. And music was my anchor.
Trapped in this box, but my mind still climbs. Every bar I write, a step out of these lines. Lost in the system, pen my only friend. These concrete walls where my rhymes transcend. Cross on my cheek, rose on my brow. Spitting these bars, gotta make it somehow.
Because in there, time is all you got. I wrote a song a day, every day. Even when I didn't feel like it, even when the words hurt to write.
Locked in this box, dreaming the streets I used to walk. Now it's just walls and talk. Lost my freedom, found this beat. This is how we survived the concrete. Trapped in these walls, dreaming of sunshine. Man, remember those days. Now it's just counting time. Lost in this.
Oh wait, Jelly, you got some bars, son. Yeah, you could do something with that on the outside, you know, if you dream big enough, you delusional dreamer.
Delusional dreamer. I like that label, something I'll come back to later. I wasn't free. Not on the outside, not in my head. And I thought I'd die that way. I would be like so many others, stuck in this system for the rest of my life, or until I was killed or dead of a drug overdose. Until one day, a letter showed up. That letter changed everything. Prison time. It's a slow kind of death. Same walls, same faces, same voices echoing in the dark. You start to wonder if the world outside even remembers you. Then one morning this letter came. The paper was worn, like it had been handled 100 times before it reached me. The words, man, they weren't fancy. They were real. They told me I'd had a daughter, a baby girl, Bailey Ann. Now I had a reason, a real reason. Not me in a selfish dream, it was all for her. Something flipped in me. I missed her first breath, but I wasn't gonna miss anything else. I had to get out, stay out, and succeed, and the only thing I knew how to do, my only apprenticeship except drug dealing and robbing people, was music. No one was gonna hire a convicted violent felon. I had to make music work for her. I picked up my pen that day and didn't stop. I wrote verses on scraps of toilet paper, on the back of food wrapping, whatever I could find. The other guys started asking me to spit bars. We'd have little shows in the day room, just a beat from somebody's knuckles on the table and me trying to turn pain into poetry.
Trapped in this concrete maze, just trying to find my way. Somebody save me from these darker days. I'm just a long-haired son of a sinner, born to lose, but I'm still here, a winner.
I thought I'd made it right there, inside. Crazy, huh? Someone said my bars hit, and I was smiling all night thinking that's it. And in a way it was. Tiny wins, tiny, leading me to my goal. Of course, I had a long way to go. But that's the thing. You've got to be a little delusional to dream your way out of a cage. Now I just had to get out, resist the temptations of the outside, and stay a dreamer, stay delusional.
Now this is where the meat of the story is, y'all. Really, it's my Act 2. I had freedom and now I had to put my plan into action. When I walked out, the world felt too big. I didn't have money. I didn't have a car that worked half the time. But I had my rhymes. And I had this beat up laptop that barely turned on. Most of all, I had my determination. A crazy will and need to succeed to turn all this mess around. I still had my demons, of course. I was far from fixed. That little hairy guy made sure he was right there with me every day. Poor mental health like so many of us, but I had no choice. I had to keep going. I'd record in my bedroom, blankets on the walls to kill the echo, and I'd burn CDs one by one. I'd sell them out of my trunk. I'd stand outside gas stations or in the parking lot of a Walmart just trying to get somebody to listen. Heck, I even ended up performing at those gas stations, anywhere anyone would listen.
As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way and the show where the broken ground good Lord.
Hustle pays off. I don't care who you are or what industry or what your dream is. Let this be the one lesson you take away from my story. Hard work beats talent. I fully believe that. I'm a fat guy with a record and face tattoos. Believe me, I had obstacles in my way, but I had a work ethic like no one else, and no one could tell me I wasn't gonna make it. My first paid gig, $200. I thought I was rich. Someone was paying me to do this. Slowly, bit by bit, month by month, I grew. I was doing 300 small shows a year at one point, living on greasy diner food, Waffle House, and sleeping in the van. And most of that money went straight into gas tanks and broken down amps. Still, the stage and the thought of my daughter, that's what really kept me alive. Looking back on it now, this next story I'm gonna tell y'all makes me laugh so much. Like, at this point, I thought I was playing the Grand Ole Opry, which I do later. But right now, listen to this.
I've been a professional full-time card carrying delusional dreamer. I thought I made it years before I actually did. Every tiny win felt like a giant leap toward the big time, at least in my head. Looking back, I'm sure folks thought I was crazy or just plain stupid. But that blind faith, that's what kept me going. I'll never forget this one festival I played in the early days. 5 stages. I was the last one, 5th of 5, way in the back playing at noon while people were still parking their cars. I don't know, maybe 40 people stood there watching. But in my head, I was playing the CMAs, which again, I do later, which is crazy. I didn't care if there were 4,000 or just 4. If you showed up, I gave you everything. Thing is, the crowd wasn't the only thing that was lacking. Every time I thought I was getting somewhere, the people in power, the ones who could actually open the door, slammed it shut. They all seemed to say the same thing, but I'm not the only one who's been told no. Think about some of the greats throughout our time. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school team before becoming a legend. Oprah Winfrey was fired as unfit for television. Walt Disney was let go for lacking imagination. Elvis Presley told to go back to driving a truck. Rejection doesn't mean the end. Sometimes it's just the start. Unless I destroyed this whole thing myself, which I almost did.
Look, I've listened to your stuff, and you're just not what we're looking for right now. You mean too fat? Face tattoos? My past?
No, I mean, not just that. It's...
Do you know what it's like to face this? Rejection every single day because of who you are or your past? I'd knock on every industry door I could. Most of them never even opened, and when they did, it was the same lines. Too fat, wrong voice, wrong look, face tattoos, forget it. They couldn't see past the cover to read the story. Lucky for me, well, for future me and my family, I was still a delusional dreamer. These were just mountains to climb and hurdles to overcome, nothing I hadn't overcome before. The trouble was, at the same time I was setting up my own hurdles. I'm not ashamed to tell you this. Well, actually, that's not true. I'm ashamed, but I'll be real with y'all. I was slipping. There's only so much rejection you can take, and it was the only life I knew. Cocaine, codeine, it honestly felt like the only way to quiet my head, but the truth was, it was killing me slowly. But things were slowing, aligning into place. I could feel it. You know when you can just feel that things are so close to going your way? Any of y'all seen that meme of the two guys digging for gold and one gives up so close and the other is behind but still digging? I didn't want to be the guy who gave up. I attended AA.
Hi, my name's Jason. I'm a musician and I'm an addict. I have been most of my life. But, you know, I'm like all of us, I'm trying.
I'm not sober still to this day. I drink and smoke, and I for sure still have my demons. That furry little guy is still with me. More now than I care him to be. But through all the bad, there was hope. I had to get sober. Not only did my band depend on me, but there were 3 people that were about to come into my life and change the course of history. A woman, a man, and an 8-year-old girl. Everyone has their angel looking over them. Call it God, call it fate, call it whatever you want to. But these were mine. I'm lucky enough to have a few. I have no idea why I have so many angels in my life. Perhaps there's a bigger plan for me. Sharing my message and giving people hope is my greater purpose, perhaps, and these angels help that become a reality. Without them, none of y'all would know the name Jelly Roll, and you wouldn't be watching this movie right now. I had a friend, no, a brother, Struggle Jennings. We were cut from the same cloth, same scars, same hunger. He gave me a platform when nobody else would, particularly by collaborating on the Waylon and Willie series. We recorded together, hit the road, and brought our music straight to the people. He'll say how I helped him too, how I was a support to him too, but I don't think he'll know how much he helped me, an anchor in this madness, through similar experiences, and of course, music.
Listen, Jelly, forget the labels, man. Forget it. You can do it all yourself. Take it to the people online, YouTube, and the world can't ignore you.
You're right. This is the time, man. Put it out there, get seen, and the world can't ignore us, man. Yeah.
YouTube became our label. We didn't need an industry gatekeeper. When the record labels won't listen, the people still can. Struggle really drove that home for me. It would be YouTube and the people, you guys watching right now, that would change my history forever. You'll see soon. But it wasn't just this, just struggle. I met my now wife, Bunny. She took a chance on me when I was beyond beautifully broken. Remember my daughter's mother I spoke about earlier? Well, she was having her own struggles with addiction. I don't need to go into details here, but I was an ex-convict, drug addict without even a permanent home who needed to get custody of my daughter, desperately. I don't know why this angel helped me, but when I needed somebody to save me, she was there. Everything was coming together. I just needed this break, this next push to make it. And it didn't come from a big label or a producer. Like Struggle said, it came straight from you, from the people. Everything was about to change overnight.
I was just coming out of the worst of my addiction. Was still playing dive bars, still grinding for scraps, some bigger venues, but nothing to really write home about, if I'm honest. Then one night, I woke up in the middle of a dream, and there was this melody in my head. This wasn't uncommon. I wrote so much and lived and breathed music that I dreamt songs and melodies all the time. But this was different. I recorded this song in 2 hours, and most of that was a discussion about whether the "Somebody Save Me" lyrics should be the chorus or the opening verse. Funnily enough, that's also something Eminem said he struggled with years later when he sampled the track. That still sounds like a crazy sentence to say to me. I'm just Jason from Antioch, and Eminem is recording my song.
You ready?
I'm not sure. Do you think they'll like this?
I don't know. It's different, but we got to try it.
Yeah, I need to get this out.
Somebody save me from myself.
This song didn't sound like anything I'd done before. It sounded honest. It sounded like me. Many artists have that breakout song or movie that they didn't know it was going to be the one to make it happen. Garth Brooks had it with Friends in Low Places in 1990. He thought it was just a fun bar song. It became one of his signature tracks. Actually, later, I'd open a bar in Nashville just down from his. What am I saying? It still shocks me to this day to say these things. Lil Nas X had it with Old Town Road. That song was made for fun on a $30 beat bought online, and it became a record-breaking Billboard #1. Sylvester Stallone wrote the script for Rocky in 3 days, expecting it to be a small film. It won Best Picture. Someone I'd also meet acting on his TV show years later. I still can't believe this is my life. This, unknown to me, was my unexpected moment. It was about to happen. No one would have believed it. Let me set the scene for you and tell me how you feel. I woke up one morning in the usual. Grab your phone and check it. Standard morning practice. I had a weird number of messages, but sometimes that happened. I thought nothing of it. I didn't even check them, but I could see that some messages contained the word YouTube on the preview of the notification. So without reading them, I went straight to YouTube. That song, the one I wasn't sure about that was totally different, Save Me, was blowing up. That feeling. It's almost better than being told by a label your album is platinum or whatever. I did this myself, put it out there, and you, the people, were responding. But this song, it was so different from my usual stuff. I'd been a rapper my whole life, but I grew up in Nashville, the home of country music. Mama raised me on those old country records, and you can hear that in my voice, even if the beat was different. The people responded. The song resonated with so many. When I was speaking my truth, the people felt it as a release. It was medicine. We'd come full circle. All those tracks that were medicine for mama, I was now the medicine for people. That dream was coming true. The numbers didn't lie. The views were going up like crazy. People sharing, commenting. The music world couldn't ignore this. When the people speak, the labels take notice. Suddenly, every label in America was calling. The same ones who said I was too fat, that I had no chance, I wasn't the right fit. They were calling. And this time, I didn't have to beg for a meeting. The work had actually paid off. See, I told you, hard work beats talent. Be real to yourself. This was it. It's like a weight off my shoulders. I could finally pay the band what they deserved. I was clean from the hard stuff. My daughter was safe, and for the first time in a long time, I could breathe. What happened next, the trajectory from this one thing, and see, you never know where or when this next thing is going to happen. You just have to keep going. What happened next was truly incredible. What happened next, man, it blew right past anything I ever dared to dream. Within a year, then 2, then 3, I'd gone from a guy hustling just to keep the lights on to standing under those bright lights with Grammy nominations. I was hosting late night shows, playing stadiums so big you couldn't even see the last row, thousands of people all singing every word right back to me. Awards, accolades, moments where I stood there on stage thinking, finally. But here's the thing. It wasn't some selfish climb that got me there. It wasn't chasing fame for fame's sake. It was sharing my pain in a song, singing about feeling helpless, about mental health, about needing help, being medicine for the people, just letting folks know you're not alone. Other people are hurting too. I'm hurting too. That honesty, that connection, that's what made it happen. That's why we're here. I truly believe this win isn't just mine, it's ours. I might be the vessel, but I'm feeling what you feel, and we're in this together. And it was beautiful.
Any of y'all beautifully broken Nashville?
I'm not going to lie to you.
These past few years have been the best of my life. I've gone from sleeping in a van and in jail cells to performing in every corner of the country. And my God, it feels incredible. But here's the thing. God has a way of balancing you, of keeping you humble. And no matter how many stages I played, no matter how much success came my way, there was still a problem I couldn't shake. It's a problem no trophy, no sold-out crowd, no headline could cure. In fact, it's the very thing that got me here in the first place. The same struggle I still share with so many of you. Up until now, you've seen how hard work, grit, and being a delusional dreamer can take a man from rock bottom to living his dream. If I can do it, so can you. Just look at where I came from. But remember this, no man is an island. And for all the battles I've fought and won, there was still one war I was losing. So let's talk about that. Because if you think chasing a dream is hard, what I'm about to tell you is even harder. I'm not an addict anymore, but I'd be lying if I told you I don't still wrestle with my own mind. For years, I ate my feelings. I'd walk into a dressing room and my first move wasn't to check the set list. It was to hunt for the candy bowl. People think food is harmless, but it's an addiction like anything else, and Lord knows I've collected my share of addictions in this life. Now, food feels like the last hurdle standing in my way. It's something I'm working on every day. If you follow my YouTube channel, you've seen the changes I've already made, the transformation I'm chasing. There's one moment I'll never forget. We were out on the road and found out we had access to a basketball court. I was over 300 pounds and struggling to move, to breathe, to keep up. But I played anyway. The next day I came back to try again, and my whole band and crew were already there, waiting to play. They'd heard about me trying, about me wanting to get better, and they made it a thing. Now every week on the road we have our own little crew tournament. That's not just music, that's family, that's love. I told you I've got angels with me, and I keep finding more. Maybe if I can beat this last addiction, God will give me another mountain to climb. He works like that, always keeping you working, and that's okay. Because if I'm living proof that you can overcome anything, and if me getting through my struggles helps even one other person get through theirs, then it's worth every fight. And as for what's next, well, that's the exciting part. I've spent my life climbing one mountain after another. Some I chose, some I didn't. And every time I made it to the top, I look out and see another peak waiting for me. Now,
they say that I'm the king of California.
I wake up in my own bed. When I'm home, I take my kids to school, come home to my wife, and still get to play music for the people who built me. I get to host shows, meet my heroes, and be part of something bigger than myself, but I'm not done. There's still more music to make, more stories to tell, more people to reach, starting with you. Because if I can go from a jail cell to the stage, you can go from where you are to where you're meant to be. And trust me, the best part of my story hasn't even been written yet.